It's been a while since I actually done this importance of premarital counseling before engagement, but here I am, and I want to talk about the importance of uh knowing about your finances and knowing about your partner's finances, because finances, they're probably the number one thing that causes divorces, and most of the times finances, knowing how to allocate finances and credit and secrets, they cause a lot of drifts in marriage. So today we're gonna have to talk about this thing. When you go for counseling, finances are one of the most important things that are spoke of when you in your premarital counseling. They talk about finances, they talk about the amount of debt that you have, how you handle money, how you're gonna manage your money in your home. And they're not gonna only just take the one perspective from the person, they're gonna take multiple perspective. They're gonna take your perspective and your partner's perspective and see if you guys have a common ground in terms of how you are going to handle your finances. But you find out that most of the times people do this thing after they get married, and they wonder when the person does not handle finances the way that they would handle their finances. For example, you would see women saying that the man's money is our money, but my money is my money. You understand? And the man is like freaked out because maybe he's not making enough money, or he does not have enough money for himself to treat himself, but the woman has, and she's suddenly independent. And you find out that it is a problem. Yes, in some homes work, but it works more if you guys actually have spoken about it before you get engaged. So it's important for you to know that about that credit as well. You have to know how the person handles their credit, because as you know, the system pushes you to have as much credit as possible, through financing of your car, through mortgage bond. They even advertise, even make you feel like you need to have a credit card and a credit account for clothing and all of that. How does your partner handle that? How do you handle that? How do you feel about what you're doing, and how would your partner feel about what you're doing in terms of credit? So it's very much important for you to be able to determine credit. How do you manage when there's no money, or the money is not really coming in the way you think it's coming in? How do you handle that? How does your partner handle that? And how can you fix that? You understand? The problem is that you find people coming to the point where they would be secretive when it comes to the finances that they have towards with each other. They would it would be very secretive, to the point that your partner does not even know your salary. I'm not saying that um your partner should uh eat, or should have all of your salary, or that thing that says that your partner must have your bank account, especially your women have should keep your card. And I don't believe in that, unfortunately. But what I believe in is that if you and your partner are working, you where when you come to the point where your incomes are there, you have to evaluate and see what are the expenses and how can you work towards doing those expenses with each other. So let's say, for example, let's say for example, you 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 uh you are with your partner, and you want to work out a budget. Let's say you have a certain amount of expenses that you have, and you say that, okay, let's say you as a man, you have your income is 20,000 rands after taxes and expenditures and whatnot, and your partner is, let's say, half of that, 15,000, as a woman. What happens is that you evaluate the expenses that you have and determine who gets what expenses based on their income. Let's say right now, groceries on average, they would cost 4,000 rands, and the school fees of the children, let's say school fees and transportations and whatever that we're going to need at school, you just say that you it costs 6,000 rands. You as the man have to handle this. You can handle the school fees, and the woman handles the groceries. And you can say that the utilities, you see how the utilities are. You can see based on the amount of money that is required for each of those utilities. And you can spread it out. You understand? It's not a problem to spread it out. It doesn't mean any 50-50 nonsense. You understand? It just means that you have to build the house together as partners. And that helps when it comes to, but when there's no prioritizing, because when you spend your own money and she spends her own money, but you have not come to the point where you have fixed your house first, there's going to be conflicts and problems and secrets where the other person thinks that they're spending money on irrelevant things, and they're spending money on other partners, and they're spending money out there on things that they do not need for that moment, and you find yourself spending money that you're supposed to handle your finances on, and you would um spend the money that you're supposed to close up the essential finances that you have in the house, and spending it on things that are not really needed, like alcohol, spending in on takeaway food and all those stuff. You understand? So you as your partner, it's important for you to know how to handle your finances. If you don't know, it's not a problem to not know. Um, you have to speak to each other. You understand? You need to speak to each other and tell each other how each of you would need to be able. You ask each other how they handle finances, like debt, they handle their spending, and sometimes it's not always about just talking. It's about exposing themselves to those scenarios and see how they will handle it. For example, what I do with my lady is that um because we are not married yet and we don't live in the same house, what happens is that I expose to see if she has a certain amount of money and she buys groceries, how does she spread the money around? You understand? And even when we go out, I evaluate and see that she how she actually conducts it, because sometimes you can just she I can't always be the one that uh pays for the dates. You understand? If she want to go out and she want to have fun with me, she has to pay for dates as well. It's not about the 50-50 nonsense. It just means that yes, sometimes I can provide transport, she buys the food, or sometimes I buy the food, she goes for the transportation, but we speak first. You understand? Because financial management in the household goes hand in hand with communication. You need to know how to communicate effectively when it comes to your finances with your partner. You have to have a certain flow of communication, so that a certain system of communication, because the way that this household communicates about finances might not be the same as the way that this household communicates about finances. You understand? So you have to come up to a common ground for speaking about finances. Sometimes but one thing you should realize is that you can't have two partners that are impulsive spenders and it works out. one of them has to put their pride aside, and they have to just say, you know what, in as much as I want to be impulsive. Yes, it's not a problem to be impulsive once in a while with you, but you have to be calculate as much calculated as possible. So basically, what does that mean? There has to have the relationship has to have that one person who would have the level head when it comes to the finances of the home. The male or usually usually it should be the male. Why it should be the man? Because they are not as impulsive as women. You understand? They don't love things as much as women. Women love things. So when you find yourself having a man who loves things as much as you, there is no progress, not going to be any progress. Or what you do is that you use your money to take out your frustrations very regularly. And because of the fact that you use your money and it starts to affect your family as the man, so you have to be as grounded as you can. You get me? You have to be as grounded as you can. But all of these things are going to be asked when you are in your premarital counseling. That is why I say that do it before you get engaged with a person, then engage, then do the premarital counseling. People don't change just because you give them a ring. They don't change just because right now they live with you. They don't. They continue. They might decrease their habits just to accommodate you, but eventually the habituation is going to start crumbling, and they're going to start to see that, you know what, I really can't do this. So it's important for you to be able to do that. So give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, and comment below. Always remember slash tag as well as soldiers salute you out.